Hi everyone, Hannah here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing all 12 of last year's monthly collection from the Disney store, which was themed around Stitch. It was called Stitch Crashes Disney. So each month they released, it was a plush, pins, and the US got magic bands as well. So I'm going to show all of those today. So January Stitch was themed on Beauty and the Beast. He was the first one, and he is the kind of rarest now, probably because he was the first one in January. His tag is on his bum. Now January and December have their tags on their bum, on the butts. All of the others have their tags on the ear, and I think it's because of the material. The January and December ones, they're like a shiny, silky sort of material, so I mean, I'm guessing that's why they did it. I don't actually know. Slightly OCD and it's a little bit annoying, but I mean, they're cute anyway. But so like I said, this one was themed around Beauty and the Beast, so he's got a little rose in his mouth. They were all £27.50 each. They all have, well, this one has one of 12, obviously depending what month. They all have the same looking tag. They all have a story within their tag. Oh no, one-handed. So this one, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, is a timeless tale filled with enthralling enchantment, and Stitch wants in on the magic. He even remembered the rose. And then they all have this same sentence at the end that says, breaking all the rules, this item is sure to be a one-of-a-kind addition to any collection, just like Experiment 626 himself. Now, that last sentence is in all of them, so I'm not going to read that 12 times. So here he is. I will do a 360. Now this stitch is a placement stitch. Different people had different kind of placements of the rose on theirs. So some people had like really brilliant placement and had like a perfect rose smack bang in the middle. So yeah, that one is January. So February stitch, again, the tag is on the ear with this one. So you can see what I mean with the difference with it being on the butt and on the ear. And they all have this obscenely long tag on there. He was themed around Lady and the Tramp. So he has a big old meatball plonked on the top of his head with some spaghetti. And I think he's like a tablecloth sort of design. Tablecloth and meatballs. So this one, sorry, don't listen, might be my least favourite of all of them, just for the design of this one. But here is the 360 of him. Now, oh, and I forgot the foot as well. All of the feet will have a stamp on there. So obviously, because this one's February, this one will say 2 of 12. This one's story. Oh no, fiddly tags. I need 3 hands, don't I? Puppy love is in the air, and Stitch can feel it. Making his appearance in Disney's Lady and the Tramp, he's ready for his plate of pasta and a pucker with Lady. And the generic sentence after that, which I'm not going to read 12 times. So this one is February Stitch. So March's Stitch, who looks a bit windswept on mine actually, which makes me laugh a bit. He was themed on Lion King. This one I think is one of my favourites. His foot will say 3 of 12, just like his tag will say 3 of 12, because it was March. This Stitch has 2 little bugs on the top of his head. They all have something with them. So like the January one had the rose, February had a big old meatball on top of his head. This Stitch has 2 little bugs. And again, this, I think most of them were a placement one. So on this one, you can see, where's the best way to see it? Just on his leg here probably. You can see Timon and Pumbaa and little baby Simba on his leg. And he has that beautiful green colour. So I will show him around. Story for March Stitch says, who's the future king of the jungle? Stitch. And he's on the prowl for a Pride Lands adventure in Disney's The Lion King. So that one is March. So April stitch was themed around the Little Mermaid. This one is definitely one of my favourites. I think the colours on this one are just stunning. And again, a placement one. I have an Ariel right in the middle of his head. And I will do a quick 360 first. Now this stitch has Ariel's flower on his head. Goodness me. Just there. And you can see little flounder on there. Do we have Sebastian? We have Sebastian and obviously Ariel herself. And it's just like the under the sea sort of theme. Lots of beautiful colours and corals. And the light blue on this stitch in the ears on the front, it's got scales on there, which is probably to mirror Ariel's tail. And his foot will say 4 of 12 and his tag will say 4 of 12. Story time! So this one says, Stitch loves to make a splash. Dive into Disney's The Little Mermaid where he becomes part of Ariel's world. And that generic sentence again. This one definitely is one of my favourites. He's just so cute and look at those colours. May Stitch was themed on Pinocchio. This one is not one of the placement ones. He looks the same on all of them. However, this one feels a bit weird to touch. Like, it's hard to describe the material. It's like a weird velvet sort of feel, and it feels a bit rough sometimes. His hat is just felt, so you can just hold him by the hat if you want to. So he's got like a wood design on him. His foot will say 5 of 12, just like his tag. Let me read the story real quick while the tag is there. I've got no strings on me. Making his appearance in Disney's Pinocchio, Stitch is ready to embark on a journey of bravery, honesty and mischief. I think emphasis on the mischief for Stitch. Tag's a little bit bent. So this is May. Lovely wood design on this one. It's quite cute. And in his ears he has some swirly bits, which I'll show you just there. Little swirly bits in his ears. And I think, where's Jiminy? Yep, Jiminy is on his arm. And this one I think is Pinocchio with his long nose because it's told a bit of Porky. Next up we have June Stitch. Personally, for me, this one feels the worst. It's similar to May with that weird velvety sort of material. You can hold him by the hat if you want to. He's got a boo little hat on the top of his head. I love the design of this one. It's kind of themed, obviously Aladdin, but around Genie and the lamp. You can see there's lamps all over him. This one is a placement one, but it's just the feel of him is not the nicest sort of material. He's still very cute though. Very, very cute. You can see lots of lamps everywhere. Little swirls for Genie. His foot will say 6 of 12, just like the tag. Story time! It says, magic carpet, check. Wish granting lamp, check. An alien from another galaxy, check. Stitch is here for your wish fulfillment in Disney's Aladdin. That was nice. So yeah, June. So July Stitch is themed around Sleeping Beauty with the whole make it pink, make it blue. It's kind of sploshed into one. And he has the cake candles, which do look a little bit like witch fingers on the top of his head. This one doesn't feel that bad. These bits on the back do feel the same as the June one with that weird velvety type, but the rest of him is just standard plushy material. I love the colours on this one. He's like a nice vibrant colour without it being in your face. Splashed in, make it pink, make it blue. I don't think this one is a placement one. I'm pretty sure that all the ones I've seen online have got the same placement with Aurora right in the middle there. Pretty sure about that one. You've got the spinning wheel just there, which we don't want to go near. Story time. Flora says pink, Merryweather says blue. Stitch chooses both, making his dreams come true in Disney's Sleeping Beauty. So I guess he just couldn't decide and went for pink and blue. I love the fact that his eyes have got a beautiful purple colour to them. The August Stitch is themed around Snow White, and again this one looks the same all over it, not a placement one. This Stitch doesn't have anything on top of his head. He's holding an apple at the front just there, which, I mean, it spins, but it is attached by 2 small little strings either side. So I suppose you could cut it off if you really wanted to, and obviously I haven't. Snow White on the very front just there, and I think we have Dopey inside his ears, which is quite cute. A little deer on the back. Now this one doesn't feel velvety. It looks very similar to the June one with that velvet material, but it's not the same. It doesn't feel kind of and weird, so I don't mind holding this one for much longer. But it is cute. I love like the deep intense blue colours on this one. So we will 360 stitch again. They all have these really long tags and all £27.50. In case I didn't mention that, I probably have. So this one says, magic mirror on the wall, Stitch is the fairest one of all. Our mischief maker is off to the forest adventures in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Excuse me. Oh, isn't he cute? So September's Stitch is a little bit different. Now this one is themed around the Jungle Book, and you can see he's got a big old banana on the top of his head. It kind of gives me dinosaur vibes. It's probably because of this material. I think it's meant to kind of resemble snake skin, but he just gives me dinosaur vibes. This one again was a placement one. I have Mowgli just by his eye there, and we have Baloo at the back. Do we have a Bagheera somewhere? I don't see Bagheera. I don't know whether he should be on there and I just can't see him if I just didn't get lucky with the placement. I can see King Louie actually, just there, but I don't see a Bagheera, which is a little bit rude. But again, his foot will say 9 of 12, his tag will say 9 of 12. Story time. Oh, and this one is just normal plushy material as well, apart from that front bit which feels, I think it's like a faux leather, it's not real leather, so this one is fine to touch. Story for this one. The jungle is jumping and so is Stitch. He makes an appearance in Disney's The Jungle Book, where his only concern are the bare necessities. October's Stitch is themed around Pocahontas. Now I think it's kind of the colours of the wind sort of vibe with this one, and this Stitch is a little bit greedy because not only does he have a hat on top, which is like a soft sort of silky material, but he also has a necklace on. So this Stitch gets 2 items to him. A little bit greedy there. The colours on this one, like the pinks and the purples, are just beautiful. And he's like a normal plushy sort of material. He doesn't feel weird to hold at all. And kind of just like a silky, I don't know if it's real silk or like a silk, probably a silk imitation actually. For his hat, 360. And for this Stitch in his ear, he has little embroidered leaves, which is so pretty. You can see a little flit on the back. Do we have Miko? I don't think we have Miko on this, which I feel like we could easily have had a Miko if we've got a little flit there. But anyway, story time. Let's go. Right, we'll use 2 hands, we'll do it properly. Stitch is blazing a trail in Pocahontas. Making an appearance in the animated classic, he's turned into nature, finding beauty in the colours of the wind. Oh, there you go, colours of the wind. So I was right. Probably stuck in my mind from when I read it before. So the penultimate Stitch, November, is themed around Peter Pan. Well, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, because this one has wings on the back. So again, this is a placement one. There's different Peter Pans. There's Neverland. Does it have the Jolly Roger? Yes, we have the Jolly Roger on Stitch's butt. So, oh, and Tinkerbell right in his ear, just there, sparkling some pixie dust. Now, on the light green parts of this one and in the ear, I don't know, hopefully you can see it, it kind of shimmers. So this one has more of a shimmer to him. It's so pretty. Does he shimmer on the back as well? Yes, he shimmers on the back. It's pixie dust. So the Tinkerbell wings, they are not attached around, I can get my finger underneath, around the arm. They go all the way around. They are attached just there on the back of his head and just in the middle underneath. So whether you would be able to very carefully with scissors just snip a couple of threads and take the wings off, I don't know. But they don't look, I mean, they're secure enough that they stay up, but they're not like stitched on the entire thing. Stitched on stitch. See what I did there? So, I mean, potentially you could probably take them off. I'm not brave enough to try it, but it does only look like tiny threads every now and again. You can see just under there, there's just a couple little threads. There's not much to that at all. So last but by no means least is the most recent one, the December Stitch Crashes Disney Plush, who is themed on Mulan. And again, this one is the same as the January Beauty and the Beast one, in the sense of he has the tag on his butt, and I think it is just the material that they're made of. It probably wouldn't have gone through his ear very well. Maybe this material snags when it gets a hole in it, I'm not too sure. So the OCD side of things is a bit annoying, but never mind. This one has little cricky on the top of his head. I love the colour, like the colours of this stitch are beautiful. And it's just so pretty. And we do have Mushu. You can't have anything Mulan without Mushu. So we have Mushu, Mulan's sword, or I suppose Mulan's father's sword, technically, and Mulan's hair clip just on the back there, and another dragon just at the top. So you can probably see in the light that he shimmers a bit more, and I think that's just the material for this one. Story time, which, oh, I'm going to have to lay him down for a moment to get to the butt tag. So this one says, like a flower that blooms in adversity, Stitch is the most rare and beautiful of them all. Courageous, loyal and a bit temperamental, Stitch blossoms into the warrior he is in Disney's Mulan. So that is all 12 Stitch Crashes Disney plushies. So let me know in the comments down below which Stitch you have and which one your favourite is. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! You are just so greedy having 2 items.